Greetings and salutations to all you folks out there. It is a dark day today, as I'm sure a lot of you saw. Forge Alliance Forever has officially ceased to exist, at least for a short period. So this video, pretty much a discussion of what comes next and my opinion on the matter, just so I can link to this video when people ask me what's going on and what do I think about it instead of having to repeat myself 10,000 times. So, long and short of it is, some people complained to pilots about the way that he was handling the patching and bug fixes, and he pretty much just went ballistic. And they said, well, we're going to create our own lobby. And he said, fine, then you don't need this one, and deleted everything. So FAF is completely gone. The backups, the records, the forum, all of it. And the good news is, though, that Shio and Eximius and a couple other people, Shepard is another one that comes to mind, helping recover the forums. They're going through the catches, trying to piece everything back together. They pulled most of the client code, and they are talking with Zep, and they are hoping to get things back online as quickly as they reasonably can. Now, reconstructing something like this, that was basically 3 years worth of work. So I would not expect it to be back up immediately. It may take, the end of the week would be extremely optimistic to even have a prototype up. So we all get to play on the buggy version on Steam. So glitches and noobs and everything else will abound. Steam will be happy because they'll have some traffic, if nothing else. Alright, so that is that. I'm going to put the link in the description. The new site and forums and all that stuff is currently located at scfaf.net. And you can use that address. That will redirect to the actual URL once they get it registered. It is going to be fareborn.com once the registration goes through. So that is there. I believe the forums will be at that location as well. Same basic setup as FAF had, and then of course the download links to the client and all that will be there whenever it is available. Now, with that in mind, I am going to try to keep casting, keep you guys entertained since you'll be FA deprived. So the only problem is the replay vault does not function any longer. So you cannot send me replay numbers. You have to send me the actual replay file. If you do not know where to find that, ask someone on the chats. Also, mibbet.com is hosting the IRC, and the channel is just the #FA forever. So that channel is open to anyone who wants to jump back in with the old crew and chat. So I will need the actual replay file. Dropbox it, file share it somehow. If you can get that link to me at YouTube, I would be more than happy to cast your games. And starting tomorrow, there will not be a cast today. I have other things going on. Starting tomorrow, I will, if I can't get replays from other people, I will just cast. I'll pull some of the better games that I've played with the guys over the last couple of weeks or so, and cast those just so we have something to do. Now, what follows hereafter is a ramble and a rant, possibly incoherent, and basically my opinion on the whole thing, because a lot of people have asked me, and so here it is. I will start this by saying I have an immense amount of respect for Pilot, for all of the coding that he has done, for everything that he has built. Forge Alliance Forever was up for about 3 years, and he did a phenomenal job putting it together, advertising it, building a player base, and getting all of that stuff set up. So, kudos to him for that, and I don't want to detract at all from what he did accomplish. That being said, over the last 3 or 4 or 5 months, everybody in FAF had noticed he's just slacking off in attendance, which this is volunteered time. That's no big deal. He has every right to do what he wants to with his free time. Just as an objective observation, he was investing less time into FAF And that is what gave rise to Shio and some others basically demanding access to the server code so that they could push updates. Now, I think this is kind of a case where things could have been handled differently, and probably everybody had correct points and everybody handled it wrongly. So, on one hand, this is Pilot's personal project that he's handled from day one, and he has sole ownership. So, in the end, he does get to decide what happens, and you really don't have any right to demand things on his private project. On the other hand, I was extremely disappointed in Pilot just because, let's be honest here, he handled the situation like a 5-year old. Basically, well, if you don't like what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, I'll just take it all away. And he deleted everything. And that's just absurd. No adult should handle a situation where they get criticized and just go off the handle completely and delete something that, I mean, FAF had over 5,000 people that used it at least once a month, and a dedicated player base of 2,000 people, maybe 2,500 that played several times a week. And he just ripped that out from under them. And on top of that, this is what really ticks me off. He held donation campaigns for features on the client. And I firmly believe that once you start taking money for something, it ceases to be your personal pet project, and you are actually investing in something that is at least partially owned by other people. And there have been thousands of euros raised for server maintenance and for code pushes and all this other stuff. We had a campaign for Galactic War. He got ticked off at some people and pulled Galactic War down. There was campaign for different coding segments, and most of those did not come to fruition. Um, just this, that, and the other thing you could list off. And now he may have been working on them behind the scenes. He may not have abandoned them completely. I don't know. I'm not in his personal life. But it's just over the last few months, everything got cryptic. He wouldn't answer anybody straight. He wouldn't take help when it was offered. He just, it seems like he completely lost heart as far as maintaining the project. And at that point, he should have backed off and realized, there's money in the bank accounts for the servers to run for a couple of years, no problem. I've already taken in all of this money for Galactic War, for these coding projects, the 2 versus 2 matchmaker, all of this other stuff that was made. And he took all of that money that people invested into him, all of the time that the coders put into balance testing, into developing these fixes, all of the stuff that was done, and he basically just picked it up and smashed it on the ground and then threw away what was left of it. It just, I cannot wrap my head around how someone could personally come to the conclusion that throwing a temper tantrum and deleting 3 years worth of work is the appropriate response to this situation. And so, however you think all of this should have played out, my end conclusion is that Pilot is a great coder, and he had a good goal and a vision, but he's a terrible PR person. And in the end, somebody who throws a tantrum like that should not be in charge of a project like this. And I say that with full realization that he did create most of it, and it was his project, so he can handle it how he wants. I'm just saying that I can understand why people wanted to break away from it, and especially now we can all see exactly where this was leading. So that is my rant. That went a little longer than I planned for it to. Okay, so long and short of it is go to SCFAF, as in the first letters of Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever, .net. And we will all be regrouping over there and putting the community back together. Hopefully we can get everything off the ground quickly. And then hopefully we can get a massive PR campaign together to hopefully net back most of the players that we had before at Forged Alliance Forever. And I would strongly encourage all of you to take this as a lesson. and not troll so hard. You have a free client. It is there for you to use. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it. You didn't pay for it. And to anyone who is not donating coding experience or working actively on the project or hasn't donated money, you have no vested interest in it. So to try to dictate what goes on and to tear down what others have built is pretty absurd. And in saying that, I exclude the people who were actually working on code and trying to get it pushed, and basically Pilot was the bottleneck that wasn't letting them get things done. So, I'm done. That is my monologue, and that is all I'm going to say on the matter, and I'm going to link to this video whenever somebody asks me about it. So, that is that. Hopefully, we can all stick together here. Forge Alliance is still a great game, and I have met some fantastic people. Tons of people on Forge Alliance. I can quite literally say, actually, this sounds really sad now that I'm thinking about it, but I can quite literally say that the Forge Alliance community has had an impact on my life for the better. Got to learn about other cultures, got to meet new people, got to learn about new things, and all in all, it was a positive experience, even though it ended on a horrific note. So, I will see you guys tomorrow for a cast of one of my games. Hopefully I can get some replays in from you guys that have the actual files, and we'll see where it leads from here on out. I hope you stick around with me. Alright, thanks guys.